Hey my YouTube friends, welcome back. Today I have a good one. It's the HP EliteBook X G1a 14-inch. I had high expectation to this laptop because on paper it has perfect specs for a productivity laptop. It has AMD Ryzen AI 9 HX365 Pro CPU equipped with 64GB RAM. This is especially important because this generation of Intel's Lunar Lake, the maxed out RAM size is 32GB. So if your workflow requires something more than 32GB RAM, Lunar Lake just can't do that for you. But this one with the Ryzen 9 AI chip, it can equip it up to 64GB of RAM, and that's what inside of this one. It also has a 2.8K OLED display, fast refresh rate 120Hz. And of course, the SSD inside this machine is swappable. It's a standard 2280 M.2 SSD. You can support up to 8TB. Again, if your workflow requires a larger size SSD, you can upgrade that to up to 8TB. It is around 1.5 kilograms weight, and it's a 14-inch laptop. Of course, it's not as thin and light as some of the ultra-portable Intel Lunar Lake laptops. But if you look at this as a workstation and a powerful laptop, it's actually, the weight is very similar to MacBook Pro, and it's quite okay. It almost checks all the check marks that I need for a productivity laptop. That's why I was saying I had high expectation to this one. And after a couple of days daily driving this laptop, there are some great things going on with this laptop. And also there are some imperfections with it. In this video, I'm going to explain you all the things that I think is great with the EliteBook X G1a, and those things that I think definitely this laptop can do better. Okay, the first thing, the look of this laptop. I really like the clean design. It's the silver color is great. It looks sleek, it's clean, and I especially like the keyboard section. So if you look at the keyboard section background color actually matches the keycap colors. It looks exactly like a MacBook Pro. When I was using a MacBook Pro, I was always hoping there might be some Windows laptops that does the same aesthetics designs that they match the keycap colors to like the whole keyboard section. And HP does that. You can say it just copies what Apple does for their MacBook Pros, but actually I don't hate it. I like it. I think it looks really great. And they also like place the speaker grills on both sides of the keyboard. Again, it looks very like a MacBook Pro, and also the trackpad. If I put this HP EliteBook X G1a side by side to a MacBook Pro, it may take you some time to tell the differences between these two laptops and identify which is the HP and which is the Apple. The build quality is great too. It's sturdy and stiff. It's not made of magnesium alloy. Of course, those are lighter, but it also has more flex on the screen, especially the top cover if you like press a little bit harder on those ones. But for the EliteBook X G1a, it's really stiff. There's almost no flex in the body, in the chassis, and the build quality is really good. And the inside, it is very, very powerful. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, this one has the AMD Ryzen 9 AI HX365 Pro chip. It also has a 64GB of very fast memory. It's so powerful. Let me tell you, I have a Lunar Lake Surface laptop. That one is also very quick and it does everything very fast. But I would describe that one as agile or quick, but this one you feel powerful. The differences between a powerful and agile, in my opinion, is that if the machine is powerful, whatever you throw at it, it just handles it effortlessly. But agile, it also be very quick. But for some very intense tasks, you can feel that it stretches a little bit. And you can't just say the power without talking about cooling and thermal performance. That's where I think this one really shines, the HP EliteBook X G1a. It has great cooling and thermal performance. It stays cool and quiet in most of the times, even performing very intense tasks. When I set the battery configuration to balance mode, it almost never running hot and too loud. And I'm so impressed by the cooling and thermal performance on this one. Definitely a highlight on it. The battery life is great. It's not as efficient or not as good as Intel Lunar Lake's laptops, which Intel Lunar Lake is known for its power efficiency. If you're familiar with my channel, you know I programmed my own battery test application. Just try to mimic the real use case scenario that the battery test performs 4 tasks: web browsing, coding, office usage, and video streaming. So the battery test run each of the scenarios 30 minutes, then loop until the battery died. And in this kind of battery test, the EliteBook X G1a actually gets a 7 hours and 30 minutes, like real life use time. I keep the screen brightness at about 60% of the peak brightness, and also it runs at 120 Hz. And 7 hours and 30 minutes is still a full day's use. And I think the Ryzen AI 9 chips are indeed very efficient. Okay, now let's talk about the things that throw me off a little bit. First, and the most important, is the screen. It's an OLED high refresh, high resolution screen. How bad it can be. It has a 2.8K resolution. Those screens on Samsung Galaxy Book or Asus Zephyrus G14 are clear and sharp. But this one, I can't say so much about that. If I watch just a little bit closely, it's so pixelated and it's just not as smooth and not as clear. Of course, this is OLED. Its color is vibrant. It can be the contrast is very high. But another drawback of this one is that it doesn't have any anti-glare or anti-reflective coating. It's very reflective. If the screen brightness is high, that's probably okay. But when the screen turns off or it's a little darker on the content, you can definitely see the reflection in you. I'm a little bit disappointed on the screen because of the two reasons I just mentioned. One, the pixelation on this one is just that don't feel like a 2.8K high resolution, high refresh OLED display. And it's very reflective. Definitely not the best 2.8K OLED display. Next thing, the speakers. Even these speakers placed at the same place as the MacBook Pros and they look the same, but they sound very, very differently. MacBook Pro, of course, they have the best built-in speakers on any laptops. And this HP EliteBook X G1a is not even close. It has okay high and mid-range sound, but it has zero bass. There's literally no bass. The sound coming from this laptop is just not rich. It's probably okay if you're doing Teams call or just like regular phone call. But if you want to like use this to enjoy some movies or listen to music, don't. HP EliteBook X G1a camera and microphone test. Let me know how do you think the video and audio quality. And the next thing is the keyboard. I know I said I really like the look of this keyboard. In the keyboard section, it has the same color as the keycaps, and the aesthetics design on this one I really like. And when I test some of the EliteBooks in Best Buy, I feel like the keyboard actually was really good. I like the typing experience on those keyboards. I even feel those are one of the best keyboards I've used on any laptops, even better than the Surface laptop. But when I start to use the EliteBook X G1a's keyboard, it just feels differently. The key press are a little too firm to my taste. I have to press harder than, say, typing on a MacBook Pro or my Surface laptop. And just a few, my fingers get tired easily and soon when I'm typing on this keyboard for a while. The key travels are good. It has 1.5mm key travel, which is on the longer side of any like laptops. But it has this rubber feeling, like the keys are very clicky. Again, it requires you to press harder, more pressure on the keys to trigger them. Okay, to summarize, this is an incredibly powerful workstation level laptop. It packs so much power in a relatively small chassis. It runs super quiet and cool, which is really great. But it just has these small imperfections here and there, like the screens are not the top tier 2.8K OLED screen, and the speakers are just not as good. The keyboard is a little too firm to type. It gets your fingers tired quickly. And also there's one thing that I don't think it's super important for many people, but I just can't help but noticing that is that the screen and the chassis in between, it has this small gap. And whenever you hold this laptop from the two sides of it, you can just slightly feel like there's a gap and it's a little flex between the display and the chassis. It's quite annoying. It's a small and subtle thing, but just to make you feel like this is not as premium. Overall, this is a good laptop. And if you don't mind the above things I mentioned, you will be very happy with this. But for me, for my personal usage, I just prefer to use the MacBook Pro. And for my Microsoft works, I just can't help but reach the Surface laptop. Alright, that's everything I want to share today. If you like the content, please consider to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one.